Autoline Daily is brought to you by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Here's what's in today's show. Toyota's recall problems are just getting worse. The Pope scolds Marchionne for closing the plant, and Autoline Daily sets out to show automotive enthusiasts a better way to measure the potential performance of a car. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Thursday, February 4, 2010, and now the news. Now the Toyota Prius is coming under NHTSA's microscope for braking problems. The company blames an overly sensitive ABS system. Adding insult to injury, the other day, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak says he suspects software problems with the Prius cruise control. And as the old saying goes, when it rains, it pours. According to the LA Times, congressional investigators are looking into sudden acceleration in the Tacoma pickup. When you add it all up, Reuters reports that Toyota could lose as much as $2 billion from all of its recent callbacks. Reuters also reports that Honda is now concerned that Toyota's recalls will tarnish Japan's reputation for quality. But you know, it's not just the Japanese. Now the Chevy COBALT is under federal investigation for steering-related safety issues. NHTSA has received more than 1,100 complaints about the loss of power assist. The COBALT uses electric power steering, and dun, 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 dun. I got a feeling that all electronic controls will now come under attack. Financial results are in for the last quarter coming in from Japan, and the automakers there are turning things around. Toyota, which was losing money last year, managed to turn in a net profit of $1.8 billion for the third quarter, compared to a loss of $1.9 billion a year ago. Honda turned in a net profit of nearly $1.5 billion, despite a drop in revenue of over $3 billion. And Mitsubishi Motors produced its first quarterly profit in 5 quarters. It posted a profit of $118 million, despite a 43% drop in revenue. You know, to me, these are very impressive turnarounds, and it shows the Japanese automakers have been slashing cost to deal with the global downturn. Even though Chinese automaker Geely will buy Volvo, Ford's joint venture partner in China, Changan, will continue to build Volvos there. According to Gasgoo, Changan will keep building the S40 and S80 models. And Geely and Chery are set to enter the Australian market this year. Chery's A1 and Tiggo 3 and Geely's MK, M Grand EC7 and Panda models will be offered to the Aussies. And it's a good thing for the Chinese automakers that they're starting to export, because according to a new report, the country's domestic automakers face massive overcapacity in just 2 years. Gasgoo reports that China's top 14 automakers will have a combined capacity of 23 million units by 2012, when demand is only expected to reach 20 million. Poor Sergio Marchionne. The CEO of Fiat thought he just had labor unions and leftist politicians to deal with as he tries to close an assembly plant in Italy. But now the AP reports even the Pope is weighing in on this one. Of course, he put it very diplomatically. But Pope Benedict XVI said that the company needs to show a great sense of responsibility. I know he's supposed to be infallible, but I'd remind the Pope that it was by ignoring tough decisions like this that ultimately brought the American auto industry to the brink of destruction. Coming up next, Autoline Daily is out to convince automotive enthusiasts that looking at horsepower and torque is an inaccurate way to determine a car's potential performance. Here's a trick question for you. What performs better in the quarter mile? A Nissan Altima hybrid or a Hemi-powered Dodge Ram crew cab that has twice the horsepower? Surprisingly, their times are nearly identical. How's that possible? Well, it all boils down to the power-to-weight ratio. Let's take a look at some numbers, starting with an American performance machine. The Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 blows the doors off with 638 horsepower on tap and a curb weight of only 3,300 pounds. This gives it a shockingly low power-to-weight ratio of just 5.2 pounds for every horsepower. Now let's compare the Chevy to something a little more practical, like a Volkswagen Jetta TDI. It also weighs about 3,300 pounds, but it only has 140 ponies. This works out to a much higher 23.5 pounds per horsepower. Predictably, the performance numbers closely follow the power-to-weight ratios. The Corvette can accelerate from 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds. The V-Dub takes almost 9 seconds to reach the same speed. Just for fun, we threw in something really old, a Ford Model A. It's pretty light, weighing right around 2,400 pounds, but it only has 40 horsepower. That gives it a power-to-weight ratio of 60, which is a big part of why its top speed is only 55 miles an hour. When we crunched the numbers for other vehicles, we found some common break points. A power-to-weight ratio of less than 10 is supercar territory. Something that rates in the low double digits will be quite a performer. Average vehicles seem to rank in the mid-teens, while slower cars fall in the 20s and up. We also correlated power-to-weight with 0 to 60 time and came up with a general scale that makes it easy to estimate how a car will perform. Beyond the raw pounds per horsepower figure, there's a lot of other variables that affect performance, like aerodynamics, transmission type, weather conditions, tires, and more. In fact, some vehicles with better power-to-weight ratios actually accelerate slower. Back to the Dodge Ram and Nissan Altima. The truck checks in at 15 pounds per horsepower, and the car nearly 18. But the hybrid beats the Hemi from 0 to 60 by 0.3 of a second. The Dodge catches up by the end of the quarter mile, though, probably because it has so much torque. Moving forward, we're going to include power-to-weight ratios wherever possible. We believe it's a more useful way of comparing vehicles and rating performance. And speaking of performance, don't forget to tune into Autoline After Hours tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our special guest will be Jamie Allison, the head of Ford Racing. That's tonight at 7 p.m. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tonight and tomorrow.